let's get this started. Okay, so just clarifying a couple of things in the chat here. Um, I like what Ray's saying because today, hey, Ray, I'm going to give you a really cool hack for drawing, which I think is going to help you if you're interested in drawing. Um, oh, thanks for the plug, Elizabeth. Yes, Human is a really great course for sculpting. It's by Ken Trammell. It's, what is it, 80 hours or something like that. It's huge, but it is a fantastic, fantastic course, and it covers exactly that question. If you're thinking about drawing, I could probably help out with that next week, and it's something that I thought maybe might be a good topic. Is the live stream saved? Can I view tomorrow? Yes, Leo, you can. So as soon as this is finished, it's archived. Then I do a little edit, and in about a day or so, the countdown disappears, and it's all fairly easy. Okay, so I thought I might get started. So today's topic, how do I describe this? Yeah, look, we're working in a 3D program, so why don't we lean on that to set things up like lighting a character so that we can better understand how to draw it. I mean, it's one thing to get photos, but we have at our disposal um, an interface which allows us to bring in, say, a head like this. And let's see if I can get this going, right? What I've got here is a little setup. Now, I know that there's a better way to do lighting. That's not the issue here. I've basically got this empty called backlight with a bunch of um, sun lamps that are creating this backlight effect. So we get this nice bit of a rim. I know that there are other ways to do this. Let's not get into that. But then through this camera, we see that that's really nicely lit. And then I have this other sun lamp, which, if I was to select that, actually keyframed a few things, a few rotations. So right now, this sun lamp, if we rotate around, what's going on here? Yep, here's the sun lamp. If we were to take a look, right, the sun lamp is pointing directly down, and in each keyframe, I've just rotated it a little bit so that we can get, if we're looking in rendered view, a few various lighting scenarios, including this lovely under lighting. And I kept that key light around that because without it, things can look rather flat. And, it doesn't have the same. Well, the reason I did it is because we have the opportunity to do some complex lighting and see how that works. And so why not utilize that in Blender? So then what I've done is I've added this grease pencil object next to it, and I've quickly sketched out this head. Sorry about the magnifying outlines. That sometimes happens. Oh, wherever I touch my Wacom tablet here. So from here, oh come on, go away, go away. Why won't it? Interesting. Is it because it's on touch? Touch on? Touch off. I want the touch off here. No. No. Damn it. I don't want that to be on my screen. How do I hide this? I want to... Okay. Hide. Damn it. No. Oh, this is going to be annoying. Let's see. Can I... Okay, got brush size there. All right. If I... Sorry about this, guys. I'm really trying here to... Oh, okay. Now, oh my gosh. This is just getting ridiculous. That's minus plus. If I turn that off, I can't see my... Okay, I'm going to start this again. Urgh. I hate when this happens. Okay. So we've got shading. And what I want to do is get a pencil here. So let's get this brushes tool here. Streams have issues with mouse pointer on OBS. Yeah, I know. It's just a thing where Magnifier actually has the best overlay for this, but now the overlay doesn't seem to be going away, which is really, really annoying. And I wish I could find... Desktop. No, I don't want the voice. I don't want the voice. This is going to be annoying. Turn magnifier on. Yes, I've got that. Full screen. Mouse pointer, keyboard focus. Keep the mouse pointer within. That says nothing to me. All right, let's just try to shade this thing. Render in Blender, not CSP. All right, let's try to get on with this. It's the Wacom. Like as soon as I touch the Wacom tablet, things are just yeah. Can you make a reference out of any photo off the internet? If so, how? With environments and characters, you'll need more, especially if you want depth. Well, pretty much the same way that we're doing this, just with a photo instead. So look, let's get to the shading. So I've got this other layer, shading, and I'm going to use, oh, actually, I want to append. I thought I had this already. Append my palettes, grayscale. Drafting colors, warm tones. These are really nice. And I want drafting colors. There we go. Yep. So let's say we're going to shade using a different color. I might just use this purple here. And we take a look. Actually, far out, man. Properties. Can I... We take a look at how the shadows are distributed. We see that there's a shading down here. So we can draw in... no, she doesn't need a moustache. I'm going to take off use lights. Right. I'm going to drop my radius here a little bit. Okay, and then I can begin to draw in... That's a little too... Right. These shadow areas. So we've got this, right? And even in the ears. So we can identify that, and then we can just sort of render those in. And it gives us a really quick representation. And you can do this as quickly or as detailed as you want. I'm just going to go with quick because you'll see how it works. Okay, so there's our shadow for that particular frame. On this one, right, because I have my dope sheet for this, it should, yeah. So we can go 1, 2, 3. Yep, we can keyframe that. Got my auto keying on. Back to draw mode. On this one, we can see that the shadow is on this side. And so we can do things like, okay, so there's an area here. And then there's an area which goes along here, right? So that's the shadow area. And we've even got a slight area here, so we can sort of render in little parts of those shadows that work a lot better. And the thing is that we've got that reference right there. So at any point we can edit this, or we can, you know, detail it in a different way. Obviously, we have the light coming in from here, so we can possibly assume that there'd be a different lighting there, and this is obviously the opposite. Because this is the opposite, I can go into edit mode. I can scale -1x, and so we've got that, right? and so on and so forth. So as we go through it, we can begin to figure out just by looking at how we set up those lights, how shadows interact with our character. And so here we've got a little, probably a bit of that there. And it's not limited to just, soft type of uh, materials, okay? I'm going to try this magnifier again because I want to see the mouse pointer, and I'm just going to switch over to keyboard for a second so that I can do this next bit. Object mode. Right, so let's start this again. I'm going to make this invisible, and I'm going to create a new collection here, and we'll just call this, I don't know, up to you. Do you just want a sphere to see how that works, or do you want something a little more complicated, like, say, the Susan Monkey head? Um, uh, just going to call this lighting reference. I'm going to go into front view here, and cursor to world origin. I might just start with a sphere, and then we can just transfer what we're going to do to something else. And so I'll just go into solid shading mode, and we'll go shade smooth. Ah, she wants Suzanne. Let's get Suzanne in there. All right, monkey head. Okay, we'll go subdivision surface a couple times and shade auto smooth. And we'll set the monkey head up in such a way that we can even cast some shadows. I might even put a new camera in here too, actually. Camera, control, 0. Now we can see through that camera. And we can go here. Okay, I'm rotating that way. Let's go to dope sheet here. I want to go, let's bring that keyframe over here. Right. And yeah, look, let's get a plane in here so we've got something to cast a shadow on. Probably needs to be a little bit more larger here. Right. So that's looking quite nice. And now we'll just open up a shader editor on this side. And I think I have... No, we're going to create a new material. Okay. Home. Let's just zoom this up. And we'll use the principled BDSF here because it's got the most settings. Because what we want to do is say, okay, we have got the option to create a very metallic surface, a very diffuse surface, a shiny surface, whatever, even something with a little bit of subsurface scattering if we wanted to. And we can observe it directly in Blender and then try to simulate that with our grease pencil tools. So let's get some lighting in there. I'm just going to go over to rendered view, get a light in here. We'll start with a sun lamp. I'm just going to remove all of its... Okay, so there's the sun lamp. We'll just have it pointing straight down for now. And did we create this new material? Yes, we did. Okay, and we're assigning it to not only the monkey head, but also the plane. So I'm going to select the plane, shift select the monkey head, control L to link materials. Now this material will be across everything. So let's give this a base color that's a little bit darker. Look, I tend to like to go with some blues here. Right. And we got scene lighting. Yep, all that. And so now we can turn down the specularity. We can up the roughness. So now it's a little bit more diffuse, but it's still a little dark. So let's take a look at our sun lamp settings. Okay, strength is 1. Got to bump that up. Okay, 10. Now we're getting something a little bit more interesting. So now maybe we want this to be a bit more metallic, want this more specular. Drop the roughness down, and you can see how those highlights change, right? Um, uh, let's see. Do we want something on subsurface? Even changing things like multiscatter. Look at this. We've got this nice bounce lighting here that's just coming off the surface. And we've only done this with one lamp, which is the key light. And we can do things like, okay, I'm just going to go medium point, rotate it this way. And so basically we can get the lighting any way that we want. And I tend to like to use an area light to do my bounce lighting. Let's go back here and we'll rotate it this way a little bit. Oh, we can see it in that surface there, which is kind of good just in case we need to see it. And now we'll up the power of this quite significantly. So we've got a nice, maybe even higher. Let's try something like 500. So we've got this nice bounce lighting here. We can even give this a bit of a color if we wanted to. Take off specular, so we've just got the diffuse, and now we can specular is kind of important actually. So we've got this bounce lighting here. So we've got a key, got a bounce. We can do a rim light as well. So I might just duplicate this sun lamp, throw it around here, and maybe this needs to be a spot. That's something softer. But basically this rim light should, wherever the direction is, we can just sort of get a nice bit of rim there, and maybe we just have the diffuse here, but we can bump this up quite high and maybe take off the shadows, right? So we've got full control of what we're doing with our lighting here. And maybe I'll make this a little bit darker so we can really see some shading here. We can have some very sharp lighting there. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. And so with the material settings and everything else, right, I'm just going to shut down this this area here and open up a new one. Maybe I should have just gone with something simple. Okay, let's bring back this, and we'll just go somewhere where there isn't a Metalord. I'm going to add a new grease pencil object. Just make this a blank. And we can draw basically wherever we want. I don't like how it just duplicates stuff though. So let's say, okay, here is our reference. Take away those. And maybe we can even take away all of the extra stuff. So we've just got that as reference. And now up here, here comes the dreaded, I'll fix this, this overlay next time. Right, because what I want with this selected is, oh, okay, well, at least we can see that. Draw mode, pencil. Let's use the blue pencil this time. And let's use a blue drafting brush, right? Now, anywhere we want, we can begin to draw this Susan monkey head. So we go, okay, so let's, we need to increase that brush size quite significantly. Yep, okay, cool. And then we can just go, okay, let's take off the lights here as well. What is going on? Why is this black? It should not be. Okay, I'm not using the lights. Boy, this live stream is just a whole bunch of, oh, okay. Haven't turned on that. There we go. Right. A bunch of Paul getting it wrong today. Okay, so let's draw this Susan monkey head. Just using the origin here and the view as my drawing plane. Okay, and we begin to draw in those features. Right, we'll just keep this nice and loose. Right. But basically we've got this right there and we've set this up ourselves. So a lot of people talk about, copyright stuff and whatnot. And like, look, if you've got your own model and you want to sort of draw it for something or get used to drawing it, bring it into a project and try drawing it this way. So now let's do something a little bit more interesting. Okay, so we've got the ear over here. Let's go, okay, I'm going to go one there, and I'm going to go to my ink pen layer, and I want to add another material slot here that is going to be solid, not so fill, and I'm just going to make that gray so we can fill that in. And let's start with this. So we've got that fill, and I'm just going to go, all right, here's my base color. Right, there's our fill. Sketch. Got to label my layers too. Fill. And then we can go shading. Let's do another one. Let's go highlights. Okay, so what are we going to do here? I'm going to go shading first, and I'm going to work with this purple here. And I'm going to take a look at these shaded areas. I'm going to draw in areas of shade instead of just coloring it. Okay, there's an area of shade here. There's a bit of an area of shade here. There's a bit of a cast shadow there. And we can drop that opacity down a little bit. And quickly we can just, by eyeballing this, there we've got the monkey smile here, shadow here. Maybe we'll drop down the opacity of this sketch as well, and we'll try to just have it with the shading. This could be interesting. Okay, so we've got this part here, and we've got this part here. I'm doing this really rough. Usually I would take a lot more time on this, just so you know. Right, so we've got the main areas that are shaded, and now we want to add the highlights. Highlights, I'm going to get this to an add mode, and I'm going to drop this opacity right down, and I'll make these highlights, yeah, something like this. And now we can see that we can go, okay, highlight here, to highlight along here, along here. Maybe we want to use the pen tool, so we can go, okay, here's a dot here, a little bit of a rim light like that. Okay, and yeah, I think this is coming out all right. I mean, it's not the best, but I think you guys get the idea, right? So we basically use that reference just like anything else. And then, let's say we want to change that lighting. We go, okay, let's change our key light. Is it the sun? Sunlight here? Where are we? Yes, it is. Okay, I want that around somewhere else. So what I might do, I might go, okay, frame up, and let's rotate this even further up like this, straight on, because I need to know what it looks like from a different angle than this fill might, get us a bit more this kind of effect, and so on. So we've changed that, and now with the grease pencil, because we want to keep a few of these, what we can do is we can draw mode. Let's just erase this stuff. I know it'll just update normally, but I just don't want to get confused. ink pen, fill. Let's go back to shading here. And maybe we'll try something different. So here we've got, some patches that are slightly different. So I've got this shadow like that. And basically in this way, I'm just going to check the time here. Oh yeah, we're good. Good. In this way, yeah, this is how we can really open up and utilize Blender or any 3D program to figure this sort of stuff out. All right, so look, as I'm doing this, I'm just going to quickly look for any other of the questions here. JFG 73, so we can see the mouse pointer better. Right, yeah. Yeah, so I'll just... Yeah, so this way you can make sure you have your shadows as well as highlights, which makes art look so much better. Yeah, and so I like to build and build and build and build and just tinker until I've got something that looks really, really good. So look, let's go back to our original collection here, which looks way better. And yeah, we'll just join those areas. And in this grease pencil thing, we can do pretty much the same thing. Let's do that. Let's go fill here, and let's add in that fill material. Yeah, sorry, I was looking for questions here. So Ray says that he bought an Intuos Pro Medium to learn to draw in Blender. Hey, that's what I use. I've got that right here. Ah, my gosh, I really need to... Oh boy, you've seen the worst of me today. This is going to go down as like the worst live stream I've done for a while. Yeah, the Intuos Pro. Actually testing an XP pen at the moment, which is a pretty good little product for drawing as well. So if anyone's sort of interested in recommendations for things, that's an interesting one too. So what do we got here? Fill. Yes. We'll drop that below this. We'll get this filled in really roughly. Okay. Let's put in some highlights and try to get this looking... Okay, it's looking really lit. So we'll just try to flatten this a little bit. And to make that sketch look way better, can you use draw mode to trace the model? Absolutely. Like, just have this over the top. There's a little trick here. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because this will allow me to show you this trick. I'm just going to bring this up here. There's a trick here. When drawing, you want to do two things with your grease pencil. First being, okay, I'll just use the mouse so we don't see that horrible overlay. First being, here in your viewport overlays, you can do things like fade inactive objects or fade inactive layers. By clicking on this, what happens is that when we draw, let's go to draw mode. This should, why won't it do the fade inactive objects? Is it this mode? Shouldn't be. Oh, hello. No, I just turned that off. Damn it. Ah, here we go. Okay, cool. Scene world, scene lights. Right, in material preview, it's working. Come on. Magnify, come back here. Right. So what happens is that when you fade inactive objects, you can fade them quite significantly. So you can have them quite faded or not so faded. And then when we're sketching, let's go into draw mode here. Let's add the mirror modifier here. Let's go mirror, and we'll make this object out. No. Damn, it's going to do everything. No, don't worry about that. That's a previous thing. Then we could go bring in our pencil. We want our drafting colors to be red. And we just begin to, basically you can trace over your character. And get some fairly accurate representation here. And yes, this is a stylized character. So obviously, I know why, because I made that tint color black. Duh. Windows changes all the time. Yes. Right, but now with this fade and having the grease pencil on top, okay, this means is that I'm actually drawing somewhere else on another part of that plane, more, on the zero part of that. But because the object is set to in front, it's always going to show in front. If I switch that off, now you can see that everything observes the Z depth that Blender is putting on there. So this is a really good way of tracing it. And then, of course, you just make that go away and you've got your drawn head. So look, I'm hoping you can take those tips and run with them. So yeah, it's a really great way to practice. Download models off the internet from TurboSquid or whatever, bring them into your own sessions, and yeah, use some of these tricks to trace over stuff, but also light them any way you want, and try to draw in that lighting based on what you see, and then you can dynamically change it right there in Blender, and draw a different lighting setup, which is really, really handy. So look, thanks again for joining me. I'll be back again next week, I think. It may have to change a time, but I'll let you know. I'll put all the information up as soon as I know. But yeah, you'll be able to set notifications and all that sort of stuff. Thanks everyone again for bearing with me. Bye for now.